Hello, everyone. This is Pastor Howie with another edition of Readings and Thoughts from the Scriptures. However, we are actually trying to do something a little bit different this time, and that is I've got a camera I borrowed from the church. I've ordered a camera, laptop camera, and I'm recording this directly on our live on the laptop. So I think the camera is a little bit better equipped for this. And so this is either going to go live, and I'm live right now. So it's either live and people are seeing it, or it's not going to work at all and I'll have to redo it. Anyway, today we're in Acts chapter 27, and we're looking at verses 13 through 26. Paul is on his way from Jerusalem to Rome. Not exactly the way he intended to get to Rome, but he's on his way nonetheless. In custody of the Roman government, actually. He's under guard, but he's got freedom. He's sort of under house arrest. And he's on board a ship, and Luke is with him. And so they have left on their journey, and this section is a continuation of what we began in our last video regarding the journey. And the journey was a dangerous journey because this section, verses 13 through 26, is entitled in the NIV version that I'm reading from, The Storm. So let's see how the hand of God once again gets Paul to God's desired location safely, and how along the way some other people are saved, perhaps not spiritually, but certainly their lives are saved in this journey. So here we go. Verse 13, Acts 27. When a gentle south wind began to blow, they saw their opportunity. So they had spent some time in Crete, and now they're setting sail. It's in the fall. It's dangerous time to be sailing on the Mediterranean, but they're on their way. So they weighed anchor and sailed along the shore of Crete, stayed close to land. Before very long, a wind of hurricane force called the nor'easter, and where we live here in northern New York, we are familiar with nor'easters, called the nor'easter, swept down from the island. The ship was caught by the storm and could not head into the wind. So we gave way to it and were driven along. As we passed to the lee of a small island called Cauda, we were hardly able to make the lifeboat secure. They only had one, and it was being towed along. So the men hoisted it aboard. Then they passed ropes under the ship itself to hold it together. So how they did that, we're not exactly sure, but remember, the ship was made from wood, so they were trying to keep the thing held together during this storm. Because they were afraid they would run aground on the sandbars of Syrtis, they lowered the sea anchor and let the ship be driven along. Sea anchor's in the stern, and it would, or in the bow, and it would catch on the ground or a reef or whatever and prevent them from running aground in a storm. We took such a violent battering from the storm that the next day they began to throw the cargo overboard, lightening the ship. On the third day, they threw the ship's tackle overboard with their own hands. That's the stuff that controlled the sails. When neither sun nor stars appeared for many days, and the storm continued raging, we finally gave up all hope of being saved or making the voyage safely. After they had gone a long time without food, Paul stood up before them and said, "Men, you should have taken my advice not to sail from Crete." This is Paul gently saying, "I told you so." then you would have spared yourselves this damage and loss. But now I urge you to keep up your courage, because not one of you will be lost, only the ship will be destroyed. How does Paul know this? Verse 23 tells us, last night an angel of the God to whom I belong and whom I serve stood beside me and said, do not be afraid, Paul. You must stand trial before Caesar, and God has graciously given you the lives of all who sail with you. This is common grace. It's special grace. It's ordained grace. It's decreed that God would have Paul witness to Jesus Christ before the ruler of the empire, the Roman Empire. So keep up your courage, men, for I have faith in God that it will happen just as he told me. Nevertheless, we must run aground on some island. He didn't know what island they were going to run aground on, but they were going to run aground on an island. And that's where we leave for today, seeing the kind providence of God reassuring his people, his person in this place, Paul, and as he reassures us in some of the trials and tribulations we go through, and how that witnesses to people who may or may not believe, is something that I think is the impact of this section of Acts 27. The shipwreck is what's next, and we'll be looking at that in our next video. So until then, look to God. If you're in the midst of a trial or tribulation, look to God. Look to God's word. Find a place where you can find confidence in the Lord by looking to him, even in the midst of trials and tribulations. And may it be that your witness, as God comforts you and shows you definite signs that he will carry you through the valley, whatever it is, or your mountaintop experience, that God is with you. May it be that many people are touched and saved by our witness in this world. And that's it for now. Until next time, God bless you.